With our guaranteed rate structure here in Minnesota, the earnings environment, at least for me personally, is the best it has ever been. So why am I still declining a majority of requests? Let's discuss. Alright, so guaranteed rates of 31 cents per minute and $1.28 per mile when transporting a passenger were implemented here in Minnesota back on December 1st of 2024. So it has been a year and some change since those were implemented. The rates are great, and again, it is the best earnings environment I have ever experienced. But there is one slight caveat and another main caveat with these guaranteed rates. The slight caveat is that the guaranteed rates don't apply to pickup time and distance. Again, only the time and distance when a passenger is in your vehicle. Which ideally, every driver should get paid for that pickup time and distance. We should be getting paid for every mile and every minute that we drive. But since my pickups average about 3/4 of a mile, it isn't a deal breaker. So pickup distance does not have a major effect on my acceptance rate. But the main caveat is we have a 2-week top-off payment structure in place. So Lyft and Uber don't need to price every single ride to the guaranteed rates. They can underpay and then hold on to that money for 2 weeks until they have to pay those top-off payments. And after every 2-week period, they take our total mileage and total time when transporting a passenger, multiply that by the guaranteed rates of $1.28 per mile and 31 cents per minute. If we have earned that amount, that's fine. They don't owe us a top-off payment. But if we have not earned that amount, then they have to pay us those top-off payments. And I have found that the majority of upfront fares are underpriced. They're not paying to the guaranteed rates. So this 2-week top-off structure is the main reason why my acceptance rates are as low as they are. Now we'll take a look at an example of how this top-off structure works. Alright, say I give a long ride. It's 20 miles and 25 minutes when transporting the passenger. Say the upfront fare is $25. Under our guaranteed rates, that ride should have paid $33.35, which means Uber or Lyft now owes me $8.35 in a top-off payment. Now let's say immediately after that I give a minimum fare ride that's 1 mile and 5 minutes when transporting the passenger with an upfront fare of $6. And here's the important part, under the guaranteed rates, that short ride is only worth $2.83. So even though it looks like I earned $6, I'm really only being credited $2.83 for that trip. The other $3.17 doesn't increase my earnings at all. Instead, it just reduces the money already owed to me from the longer ride. So instead of receiving the full $8.35 top off for that long trip, it gets reduced by $3.17 and I end up with a top off payment of $5.18. And yes, I could look at the long ride as subsidizing the shorter ride, and mathematically that's exactly what's happening, but I look at it differently. I don't want shorter rides pulling money away from what I already earned on other rides. And since Uber and Lyft have chosen this 2-week top-off structure instead of paying the guaranteed rates for every single ride, I am choosing to decline almost all requests that are less than 3 miles of on-trip distance, and especially those shorter requests where the pickup mileage is longer than 2 miles. So that's the main reason why my acceptance rates are as low as they are. I'm declining all of those shorter rides, but also during peak demand times, I become especially picky, which all drivers should do in all markets, but during those times, I'm typically only accepting requests that are 10+ miles of on-trip distance. So again, my acceptance rate on Uber is 50% and my acceptance rate on Lyft is 42%, even with our guaranteed pay structure here in Minnesota. So how would my acceptance rates ever get to above, say, 90% again? It's simple. They would have to eliminate the 2-week top-off structure and price every single ride to the guaranteed rates. And they might actually still have to finesse the pay on those minimum fare rides to get me to accept them. Pay something like $3 per mile to make them worth it. So again, the earnings environment is solid here, but there is a nuance to it with that 2-week top-off structure. And I am not complaining by any means, just explaining the situation here. Guaranteed rates are great and every market should have guaranteed rates. But what about all of you other drivers in Minnesota? Are you declining the minimum fare requests like I am? Or are you treating them as subsidizing your longer rides and accepting all of them to stay busier? If you've yet to download the Solo app to help you manage your rideshare business and earn more, our referral link is in the description. We also have a free newsletter and the link to sign up for that is in the description as well. If you've yet to watch my previous video on the upfront details that Lyft provides in 2026, be sure to check that one out. Thanks again for watching and drive safe. Thanks.